Hey guys, I made this meal plan for you and I'm just going to go over it real fast so that I can cover any questions that you might have about it. The first thing that you want to do is read these 11 tips for success. They're kind of going to go over what you can or should and should not do. And you want to go to this authorized foods list right here. So click on it and you'll come to this page and it's going to tell you all of your authorized foods. So when you're trying to do this body recomp or body recomposition, these are the foods and beverages that you are allowed to eat. I wanted to give you a list so that you can, within that, cook and prepare meals that you like. Buy foods that are on sale or um, kind of plan it around your family and the way that you guys eat without being too restricted. Okay, so there's some options in here. You can have your authorized beverages. Um, I talk about alcohol a little bit in your meal plan on this page here, which we'll go through, but you have your authorized meats, which is like chicken breast, fish, turkey breast, or lean beef. And at least at first, I mean, if you have a food scale, that's the best option. When you're doing your authorized meats, I have exactly the amount. I've listed the amount of meat that you should eat in each meal, like the serving size. At least at first, it's a really good idea to weigh it and see exactly how much that is so that then you can eyeball it later on. You know, it doesn't always have to be exact, but at first it's a good idea to at least have an idea of how big that portion is going to be. Okay, and then you can eyeball it later. So really consider getting a food scale and measuring the food out, at least at first. Um, if you're going to eat something that's not a lean meat, so instead of chicken breast, you're going to eat chicken thighs. Let's say you're going to make shoyu chicken or something, and you want to eat chicken thighs. Just take into consideration the difference in calories. You know, the protein and calorie ratio is going to be a little bit different in that. So, like I said, at least at first, try to stick to this to this list, and then later on you can kind of deviate a little bit to the right and left depending on your days, but like I said, try and stick to this list at first at least. Authorized vegetables are these. Why I say authorized vegetables is because some people feel like, for example, carrots is a good vegetable to eat. Those are higher in sugar. So when I say unlimited vegetables in your meal plan, these are the unlimited vegetables that you can eat. And I've given instructions on how you can cook them. So I don't have salt on here. You guys aren't doing a competition prep, and neither of you have any issues with high blood pressure or anything like that. So you can use salt in moderation. I'm not going to restrict you on that. But I don't have it on the list of like herbs and spices that you can use. But you can go ahead and use a little bit of salt. It's not a big deal. But don't go overboard with salt. Authorized starch, this is one I want you to pay attention to. I have a serving size for women and a serving size for men for each of these authorized starches. So corn tortilla, Narlyn, you can have 2 to 3 per serving, and John, you can have 4 or 5 per serving. Okay, and so on your meal plan, it'll say 1 serving of your authorized starch. And so you're going to go to this list and you're going to see what your 1 serving is for that authorized starch. Okay, so 4 to 6 ounces of an authorized starch like the sweet potato. Like I said, you're going to want to just weigh it at least at first, and then you can know, around about how big that is, because it's going to be hard for you to know how much 4 to 6 ounces is without that food scale for you to even like eyeball it if you don't weigh it at least at first. So that is what I think that you should do. Go ahead, go get a food scale. They're not expensive. You can probably find one at Costco, and and then weigh your food, at least at first when you're preparing your meals, so you can see how big they are. So that's what you want to do. You want to go to your authorized starch, see what the serving size is, and then prepare your meals like that. Okay, so I'm going to go down this list right here. I have a few notes on your current diet. So you guys sent me your 3 days of what you ate for those 3 days, and I have a couple of bullet points that if you take these bullet points into mind, just these ones at first, it's going to make a big difference in the way that your diet and your meals go throughout the day. Okay, first thing is, I noticed it looks like you guys are eating you're eating your meals a little bit too far apart. And I will go over how you can adjust the timing for your meals when I go over your actual meal plans, but try and space your meals 2 to 3 hours apart for the big meals. I'm sorry, for the smaller meals, and your big meals are going to come between, are going to, you're going to have like a bigger meal than a smaller meal or a snack. And then a bigger meal and a smaller meal or a snack. And I'm going to explain later on how you can adjust that to your lifestyle when I go over the actual menu. But you want to space your meals out properly. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is you want to limit your junk meats and your junk carbs. And what I mean is that's like processed foods, sausage. Like, that caramel latte that you drank or whatever. Really try to limit those and stick to real foods. Okay. The next one is do not ever eat carbs without a protein, especially sugar. So if you're going to put something in your mouth, make sure you have protein with it. A better snack than a candy bar is going to be a protein bar. If you're going to eat something that has sugar in it, like that caramel latte, you just absolutely have to have it. Try and eat it with your meal. Make it a part of your meal so that you have that protein with it and you don't get that crazy insulin spike that's going to contribute to you retaining fat and having lower energy levels and a lot of other different things. So just try and eat your protein with your carb. If you're going to eat a carb, eat it with a meal. Just think about it that way, okay? Narlyn specifically, you need to eat more protein, period. You're not getting enough protein in your diet. Real quick, why you need to do that, you're working out and you're working hard to make those body composition changes. And if you don't eat enough protein, you are not going to have any change happen. You may lose some weight, but it's not going to look good. You're going to not have enough muscle. Your muscle's not going to stay there. Your body's going to eat that muscle instead of eating the fat, or instead of utilizing the fat over the long term. Your body's going to eat its muscle up, and even if you do lose weight, it's not going to be the kind of weight that you want to lose. So you need to eat more protein, period. Just looking at your diet. John, you need to replace processed foods with real foods. So, when you feel like you want to eat like a slider, instead of buying a slider, like the frozen kind, warming them up and eating them, make them ahead of time. It's going to take a little bit more effort. You guys can eat pretty much, a lot of the stuff that you wrote down in your diet, it looked like it could be a good meal as long as it was something that you prepared yourself. A lot of the stuff that you get in the stores that's already prepared for you, that's going to be stuff that has a lot of garbage in it. It's, instead of having like real protein in it, it may have a lot of fillers, sugar. They'll add sugar, they'll add sodium to it, stuff like that. So replace that processed food with real food. It's going to go a long way. And what this means for both of you is, if you want to make changes and you want them to last and be for the long term, you have to start thinking about preparing your meals ahead of time and taking them with you. It seems like a lot of work, but once you get into the habit of doing it, it's going to be so much easier. Right now, I've got chicken. I've got a couple of meals already prepared in my refrigerator, so it's time for me to eat. I just grab it out, and there's no thinking about it. It's right there. Um, I know that you both work, so you can take your meals with you to work. It's just something that you're going to have to do if you want to make changes in the long run. You're just going to have to like prepare the meals and get used to taking them with you. It's going to be cheaper for you too. So the custom meal plan is based on these numbers. So basically, John, you need to eat at least 1,784 calories a day, and your protein should be at least 84 grams. Okay, Narlyn, you're going to be eating 1,392 calories a day, and your recommended daily protein should be at least 68 grams. Okay, and that's what your menu is based on. You can read more about it down here, but that's it in a nutshell. Narlyn, your sample meal plan is this. You have option 1, 2, or 3. I have you taking BCAAs in the morning because that is going, if you work out in the morning before you go to work and you work out on an empty stomach, taking those BCAAs are going to help you preserve your muscle without you having to eat first thing in the morning. There's a lot of reasons why that's a good idea. And basically, just for you, I know you probably don't want to eat before you work out. So take those BCAAs if you can. Your breakfast, I give you 3 options. You got a protein shake. You can eat the 5-egg white option. I have unlimited vegetables and 1 serving of starch. You eat that with the 5-egg whites. Or you have like 2 ounces of your authorized meat. So you go over here to the foods list, you look at your authorized meat, what you want to eat. 2 ounces there, unlimited vegetables, and 1 serving of authorized starch. Okay, so I've got all of these meals here. I've got you on a breakfast meal, a small meal, a lunch meal, a small meal, and a dinner meal. Now check it out. If you don't want to eat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day, take that meal and combine the amount of meat so you can eat 4 ounces of meat in 1 meal. Okay. And then you can eat your authorized serving of starch and your unlimited vegetables with that meal. And so that will combine the 2 meals. And you can do that if you want to eat 3 big meals a day. Okay? If you don't want to split it up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 meals like I have here. It's up to you how you want to do it. But just do the math and combine the meals if that's what you want to do. Down here, I have a meal plan for John. John, you're going to eat the 8 egg whites in the morning, or 3 ounces of authorized meat. And same thing for you. You can combine the meals if you want to eat 3 bigger meals. I like to eat the smaller meals because by the time I start to get hungry again, I have a meal prepared, and that's what I eat as my next thing. So I feel like I'm eating all day long, and it doesn't give me a chance in between meals to snack or feel like I'm hungry or feel like I'm starting to get a low energy level. On the other hand, if time is not going to allow you to eat that many times a day, you can combine 1 or 2 of these meals. Andrew likes to eat 3 square big meals a day. So let's just say, John, you want to eat a bigger dinner. You want to eat 8 ounces of meat at dinner. Just take this small meal and skip that time, okay? And then combine it with your dinner meal. Now here's the thing. If you're going to skip a meal, you need to eat those calories and eat that protein in your next meal. You can't just skip meals and think that you're going to cut these calories out, cut that protein out, and I'm going to lose more weight now. That is not how it works. You have to eat all of your meals. You have to eat all of your food, and you cannot skip your meals. You cannot skip your protein. You cannot skip your food. Okay, that is a big deal. You don't want to skip meals and you don't want to skip food, because what ends up happening is you end up eating away at your own muscle, and then in the long term, that is going to work against you. It's going to make you gain weight. So do not skip your meals. Do not skip your workouts. Okay? If you have any questions about this, let me know. I will explain it as best I can. I've got a print friendly button here, so just click on that and you can print it out. And hopefully I explained this good enough and you guys won't have too many questions. But like I said, if you have any other questions, just give me a call, text me, or whatever, and I'll answer them as best I can. Okay, thanks guys. Love you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.